How many of us have ever stepped into a casino and lost? And I mean, lost bad. That's okay. Most people lose when they go to the casino, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm about to explain to you why the house literally, usually, always has the advantage. Deck of cards, 52 of them. There's 52 cards in a deck, 4 suits, and 13 cards per suit. These are the cards that they play with. Now, blackjack is one of the most popular games, and it's played like this. Shuffle cards first. Right, so depending on how many players, of course, at the table, the dealer always deals to self first, then they deal to you. Whoever is closest to 21 wins. So this ends up being a 9. You can say hit, get closer. 9 plus 5 is 14. You can hit again. Try to get as close as possible. 21! 21. Can you do something for me? And the dealer only had 11. So you won! That's blackjack is one of the most popular games. 21 is the age to get into the casino. They will not let you gamble. It don't matter. It don't matter. Even if you win, you're not 21, you're not getting a dime from them. Now, a major part of all casino games, die. You're gonna use these bad boys at many different games, and we all know what they mean. You roll the dice. 1 to 6 on the side. So, let's start off with a list of all the games that you can find on the casino floor. A wide variety, a number of games that you can choose from on the casino floor. The most popular that most people know offhand are slots. There are so many different types of slot machines, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of slot machines. They fall into categories of like the classic one that just has the symbols. You roll the die, you land on the symbols. Hopefully you win money based on the order. We also have the video slots nowadays and the progressive jackpot slots. Those are the ones that look like the fancy video games that you see nowadays. They have the traditional slots procedure, however you want to put it, but at the same time, since it's digital, there's so many different combinations, so many themes, so many different types of slot games. So, you get what I mean? Many people can win big on slots. You can play pennies, you can play small coins, you can play big bucks, win big bucks. It just depends which slots you're good at. I'm not good at slots though. First of all, the table games are the ones that you walk around and you see everybody about between 3 to 10 people per table. Depends on how big the game is, how many tables of each game are included on the casino floor. A lot of them like to include, I don't know, let's say like 10 blackjack tables or 5 crap tables or any of that number to make sure that the odds are still with them, but you also have a hand at playing, and many other people have a hand at playing at the same time. So you could win big with these big table games. These are blackjack, baccarat, poker, roulette, Wheel of Fortune, craps, backgammon, and Sigpo and Pygo. I believe I'm saying those right. The biggest tools that are used in every game are usually cards, die, and like a small little ball, like a ping pong ball, that's used for games like Wheel of Fortune or anything that you have to toss for it to land in a certain space, which are like in a combination games, but we ain't gonna get into that. If you don't know anything about the anatomy of a deck of cards has 52 cards. There are 4 suits, which we know as the big names spades, clubs, diamonds, and hearts. Each suit has 13 cards that range from the number 1 to 9, jack, joker, queen, king. See how I mean? So, now, baccarat and blackjack are some of the most popular games that you'll ever find in a casino. They are similar. The biggest difference is that in baccarat, you're playing against the banker, which can be seen as the house. However, each card in baccarat has its own value. So for the numbered cards, the ace is worth 1 point. Anything else, all other cards are worth their face value. Now, if your total is more than 10, you are more likely to win. Baccarat is different from blackjack because in blackjack you're trying to ultimately reach 21. In baccarat you're trying to get as close to 9 as possible. So that is the breaking point. When you're playing you against the banker, and each round you play, if you get close to 9 or 9 on the dot, you win the sum amount of money that was bet. Now blackjack is also similar. Like I said, instead you're getting to 21. that it just involves pulling the cards into one of each player, you or the house, or anybody else that's playing at the table, reaches 21. The closest to 21, if not exactly, won that hand. And usually they get to place the first bet for the next hand that's going to go, depending on where they're sitting. Another very, very, very popular game at the casino floor is poker. It has many names. There's many variations. There's Texas Hold'em, there's Pineapple, there's 7-card stud, 5-card draw, Raz. I don't even know what that means. But there's so many variations of poker. We all know them by heart by now. So the goal out of the 5 cards that you are handed is to get a hand, of course, that's going to have the better value per card. These things usually end up full house, flush, you know. There are certain things that you have to get in poker to beat your opponent. Everybody is dealt the cards at the same time. Therefore, after you are dealt the cards, you must bet. Basic rules of poker are not really that hard. You are given a combination of 5 community cards and 2 whole cards, not WHOLE, HOL, 2 whole cards. The first round usually begins with the player getting the 2 whole cards, and they are dealt face down so you don't see them. Then after that, the pre-betting begins. So if you see your first 2 cards and you think, I could possibly win this because I have the advantage, you can bet everything you got. Or you can bet a little bit at a time. A lot of people bet everything they got. And that's how they lose everything. So after you do that betting, cards are revealed. The dealer puts down the first 3 of the 5 cards, and that's when people get to see who is really more probable to win. So after the flops hit the board, the bet around comes up where the people who believe they have the cards that are going to win are going to bet again, and they're going to put more money up. So after that, what do they call it, the river, the 5 cards on the board is dealt after the final round of betting, and all remaining players must show their whole cards. The player with the best 5-hand card using any combination wins. Like I said, there's many variations. There's one called the Omaha Poker. There is Crazy Pineapple, 7-card stud. There's so many different variations because everybody around the world plays it. Now, basically, the ranks, which most people hear about when they hear about poker, are like this. The highest ranking poker hand, strongest to weakest. You got a royal flush, a straight flush, 4 of a kind, you walking out of there with all your profit. If you got a full house, a flush, or a straight, you're more likely to win if nobody else has the other 3 that I named above those. And then after that, 3 of a kind, 2 pair, 1 pair, and a high card are your least probable ways to win if you have those cards. So poker is one of those games where people have bet millions of dollars, and there's world tournaments people play all the time. You can probably catch a poker game right now. I ain't gonna lie. Now, craps. It's a little different. That's the one game that I walked into the casino and it scared the crap out of me, and I never went to play it. I just watched other people play it, and I still felt like I was gonna lose if I put any money on the table. Let me explain to you how craps work. First of all, the players work in a clockwise way around the table. Everybody's goal is to reach 10,000 points, 10,000 points, and you roll all 6 die. Remember how I was saying earlier that a lot of games either use the die or they don't? Yeah, this is one of the games that does use the die. Okay, I want to try to break down the die in craps so you understand what they mean. So you have 6 of them. I only have 5 with me right now, but you have 6 of them. If you roll this, a 5, you get 50 points. If you roll this, a 1, an ace, you get 100 points. Now, 3 of those 1 dots equals 300 by math. And it's called 4 of a kind. So we're gonna leave it at that. Now, the higher you go up, so you get 3 die that have the number 2. That's called 5 of a kind, and you get 200 points. If you get all 3 die that equal 3 of these, it is called 6 of a kind. It could be in a lot of different combinations as well. I'm going to include the graphic so you guys understand, because this is kind of a complicated game. It's complicated. You have 4 of these. It's called straight. 1 6, 400 points. 3 of these. And which is the last one? 6. If you have 3 of these 6s, it is worth 600 points. And the 5, if you have 3 of the 5 ones, like I said, they're all 50 each, and they are called 3 pair. If you have the 6s, they are called the 2 triplets. I might be wrong on that, do not quote me. However, like I said, I'm going to include graphic because I don't know, y'all. I told you this game scared me. I don't know. So you roll all 6 at the same time. If you score all 6 die, meaning that you have enough points from all of the combination of dice. So the example that they're using are 3 of these and 3 of these. Now, going back, I don't even remember how much they were worth. However, 400 points for the 4 and 200 points for the 2s, which gives you 600 total. So you can either choose to set aside die, or you can use them for your total and the advantage, if that makes sense. So to begin a game of craps, you know, you're walking over there, you see everybody at the table, cool. The first thing you want to do is buy chips. Each chip has a specific value for a specific color of each chip, and they range from $1 all the way up to thousands of dollars. So that's the first thing you do. You place your bet. The person rolling, as it moves in the clockwise position, the person rolling is known as the shooter. On the come out roll, which is what they roll, the goal is to roll a 7 or 11. And this is known as a natural. So if the shooter gets a natural, all the players who have placed their bets on the pass line win. Everybody wins. If the shooter rolls a 2, a 3, or 12, known as craps, all the players who place a bet on the pass line lose. So if the shooter rolls any other number, that becomes a point. So you keep rolling until they decide to take the points to get a 7, or if they roll a 7, in which case they will lose. So if the shooter manages to roll the point again before rolling the 7, all the players who have placed a bet on the pass line win. This makes sense to you? The format is pretty... It looks complicated, but it's actually kind of simple. So basically, the pass line is at the bottom, and all of the different numbers on the table you get to choose. You get to place your chips on this table to figure out which one is the highest probability of you winning. So as people roll their die, that's one way where you get your outcome. There's etiquette with this game. Now, once the points have been established, the rules for the don't pass bets are the opposite of those of the pass line bets. You lose if you don't have a pass. You lose if you have a don't pass bet and the shooter rolls again before rolling a 7. You win if the shooter rolls a 7 before rolling a point again. So it really just all depends on luck. This game is a game of luck, chance, and strategy. If you know how to roll die, you might got it. You might not even need all this. But if you don't know how to roll die, like a lot of us that didn't grow up shooting dice, just practice a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, roulette is also a very common game in a casino. You place your bet on the little table right here, and once you have all of your chips placed down on that mat, it's time to spin the wheel. This is another game where they use the pong ball. It spins around. Once it stops, it lands in one of the squares, and that's associated with a number and a color. So you win the most if you had that number, that color. If it's an even number, odd number, 1 through 18 or 19 through 36, there's a lot of different ways that you can win in roulette. It's one of the most popular games. So, backgammon is a dice game that is pretty old. It's pretty intricate, if I do say so myself. This is what it looks like. It has 4 quadrants, outside quadrants and home quadrants for each player. There's 2. This is also played with dice. So you usually roll the dice to figure out the number of points that you're going to be able to move your checkered pieces around the board. Now, I never successfully played backgammon, but that's the gist of it. I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know how to win it. But it is one of those dice games, and it has a special die as well that has numbers on it that are all multiples of 4, I believe. So, backgammon is pretty cool. I don't know how many casinos actually use them, but it is one of those games where you're probably not going to master until you're older. Now, the funny thing is, you don't walk into a casino and see the game of chess or checkers. I would love to bet on a game of chess or checkers inside a casino, but there's probably a reason that doesn't happen. Now, some of the games that are least played, and sometimes casinos don't even have many tables of these games or machines for the games, are things like Wheel of Fortune, aka the Big Six. That's the one where you see the big Wheel of Fortune wheel. Usually someone tosses a ping pong ball on it, and wherever it falls on, you win. The Keno is a lottery game, so you pick between the numbers 1 and 80, and whatever you get closest to that number, you win a certain amount of money. Scratch cards, kind of the same as when you go to the gas station and you get a scratch off card. Yep, if you scratch off something good in a row, you get a bigger prize. It just depends on the brand, the theme, and all of those things. Sick Bow is also a type of dice game, and I'll try to include the table right here. It's very intricate, and you can play it with Chinese lettering, or you can play it in the American style. Pi Go Poker is also used with Chinese dominoes instead of the regular way that most people play poker. So that's a big difference. It's one of those variations that you really don't see that often, but if you do run into a Pi Go table, I say play it. So those are some of the lighthearted games that most people really don't pay that much attention to, because when you go to a casino, you want to win big. All of the games at a casino, they range from the table games, the slots, the instant win games. There are so many online versions of all those games that I named as well, that you can play those while you're at the casino as well. They usually have a specific section for them. For example, the high rollers table or the high rollers room that you usually see in a casino, they are more digital. And if they do have a dealer, it's for the games like baccarat, blackjack, maybe poker. You just never know with poker. There's so many ways to play poker. The least / newest form of gambling there is crypto gambling, and it's all online. Now, I don't have too much information about this, so that's why I'm not including it in this video. However, I will include it in a video about cryptocurrency altogether, because that's a whole different topic if you know what I'm saying. So these terms that you're gonna hear, you're gonna forget them, but just know that if you ever go to a casino, your best bet, if you don't know how to play this game, even if you know how to play it, just watch the people at the table first. After about 2-3 games, you feel confident enough, then go in. Because the etiquette is one of the most important things at a casino. Matter of fact, let me get into that right. One of the biggest things about casinos most people do not inquire about is the casino etiquette. There are rules about how you approach anybody, really, in casino. So, I'm going to start with some house rules. We already know that they have the advantage. They're not relying on luck like you are. They're relying on dumb gamblers to lose. So, get your skills up, number one. Even though you need skills, luck is still your biggest factor. So, extend the playtime. The longer you play, the more likely you're going to win. Only use money you're willing to lose. Don't go in there stunting. Talk about, I can flip 200 into 2,000, and you wasn't ready to lose that 200. Don't go in there stunting. High streaks do not last. It doesn't matter if you won 5 games in a row. You don't know what that 6th game is going to be like. Do not continue to put all your money up just because you're winning. You're going to lose it all. As far as etiquette goes, when you're approaching a game, it is best to watch about 2 or 3 games before you throw your hand in the ring. Never sit at the table unless you're going to play. Never. You can watch your friend, but you have to stand on the side. You cannot sit down with them. You are wasting space. They don't like that. They will yell at you. And if you're going to join a game, you have to wait to the end of the hand. That's just common courtesy. You can't come in on a hand that you didn't bet in. That's just dumb. Never take your phone out while you're sitting at the table. They're going to believe you're cheating, or you're talking to somebody about cheating. Just don't do it. You don't need it anyway. Your focus needs to be on the actual game and everybody around you, including yourself and the dealer. So think about that. Only touch your cards with one hand. Do not hold them like this. They're going to believe you're cheating. You guys, you got to understand the history of how people would cheat in a casino would usually be very discreetly and switching out cards and, you know, partners having signals so they know what's coming next or something like that. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't touch your winnings until the dealer has dealt them to you. You might get jumped. You might get kicked out because just don't reach for the money. You know you won the money. It's okay. You can't even get it at the table. You have to cash it out at a specific place at the casino before you leave. So just wait. Just be patient. Never stall a game to stunt. No blowing the dice. No moving around like you're crazy. No, hey y'all, blah, blah, blah. They don't like that. They'll kick you out. They don't care how much money you got. You're not finna showboat. Because those are the type of people that when they lose, they get violent. And you know, security. Yeah. Always tip your dealer, never in cash. You can give them chips. The value is dependent on you, but never give them cash because then that's too much of a accusation of stealing, and you know it just don't look good. Always tip your cocktail waitress. If that lady is bringing you drinks to keep you motivated, give her a tip too. She ain't doing it for free. I'm gonna let you know that. So, those are just some rules and expectations of the casino floor. You don't have to follow them, but you know, if you don't, you get kicked out. So, that's up to you. Now, the juicy part of the video that the casinos don't want me to show you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So stay tuned for these tips, right? Boom. Okay. Now, when you're walking into a casino, the first thing that anybody in the room notices is you. The dealers notice you. When you come up to the table and they watch you, just like you're watching players play the game, they're watching you too. They're watching to see if you're going to be a person that's actually going to be losing against the house or winning against the house. They have a duty to report to the house when they feel like anybody is coming in cheating, prepared, like counting cards or anything like that. They monitor you. There are more cameras in a casino than you think. So you're not really getting away with a lot. They won't let you cash out if they believe that you cheated your way to those winnings. So I'll just give you some tips on how to increase your odds with winning, but also not making it obvious. So just like I said, the dealers, they watch you. You identify the dealers that are the clumsiest, the ones that are slowest, the ones that they might know what they're doing, but they might skip a step every other game or something. They might hesitate at certain points. You never know. If you watch them, you know who to identify and which table to go to and which way that you can play your hand. You never know. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't Don't overbet. Don't take out too much money too fast because they watch that as well. Now, you can spend your money on liquor while you're there, but if you get too drunk, you're kind of telling on yourself, you know? So keep your eyes on the prize. Stay focused. One thing that I used to do when I went to play blackjack a lot, I had a budget about how much money I knew I was okay with losing. I knew. You don't want to walk into a casino believing that you're going to walk away with more money that you came in with unless you have the skills for it. Stay in your lane and start small, especially at the tables because they monitor you. If you start off too big, they're going to start questioning where your money came from. And then you might get cut off from using the ATMs or getting any alcohol after that. Know when to say when. If you know you're losing money pretty fast, then leave that table, leave that game, go to another one, take a 5-minute break, start another game. You know what I mean? Play a different game. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Don't do that because they're going to have the better odds. Every time you're reacting emotionally to a loss, that means that more than likely you're going to bet more than you did before because you're angry and you want to prove that you could win the game. They know that already. Just take a break, take a breather. It's okay. Use the laws of nature against you. Sometimes this may involve counting cards, but sometimes it's just watching other people's failures. Just as much as you watch the dealer do anything wrong, watch the people around you. They're going to be your best teachers. They don't have to tell you anything because you just watch the hand. And you can deduce what they're thinking. But just use what you can against the casino because they are already doing it too. Some people say don't play Keno. Now, the odds are up there. If you are not spot on with guessing numbers, don't play that game. There's a certain amount of numbers that you can bet up to. I think about up to 20. So on one ticket, you can put 20 numbers that you believe are going to hit in probably the range of how much money, per number that you want to add on to it. But nobody gets them 100% correct. Nobody does. And the odds are against you. So it's one of those lighthearted games. Like I said, most people stay away from it for a reason. Practice makes perfect. When you're at home, run through stuff yourself. We have the technology for you to download a program to play some of these games, play them with the real cards you go to the store and buy, find a friend, find somebody to bounce ideas off of, ask them to tell you where your weak spots are so you can practice those before you get to a casino so the real dealers don't see your weak spots. Stay away from the limelight. Like I said, Alright, so that is the end of the video. I would like everyone to take a moment to like, subscribe, share the video, comment, bring friends so they can comment. Thank you for watching. If you want to know more information about any of these games that I've talked about, let me know. I can make a part 2. I can make a series. It does not matter. The next video I am planning to make is going to be how to play spades for anybody that don't know how to play spades. If you that Uno person and you want to know how to play spades, I'm going to teach you. Don't worry about it. So, like I said, any suggestions, let me know. Comments, questions, concerns, follow me on my socials. The link is in the bio. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for coming today to Ashe's channel. And I will see you later. Have a nice day, y'all.